Hey guys, this is Pastor Jenna Bearby from First Presbyterian Church of Taos, and our children's sermon this week is going to be a little bit longer than usual because I want to show you guys one of my favorite books called Old Turtle. We're not going to read the whole book because it would take a pretty long time, and I think it would be a copyright violation. But I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about it because it has to do with what we're talking about this week. This is the story, it says, of a long, long time ago when all of the creatures, the animals, and the rocks and the seas start to argue about what God looks like and what God is like. And not surprisingly, the fish think that God likes to swim, and the birds think that God likes to fly. And all of the creatures of the earth kind of think that God looks like them. The rocks think that God is hard, and the winds think that God is smooth and blows through the air. And they have this big argument, and in the middle, a voice gets louder and it goes, "Stop." And then it says, "A new voice spoke. It rumbled loudly like thunder, and it whispered softly like butterfly sneezes." The voice seemed to come from, why, it seemed to come from Old Turtle. Old Turtle is the wisest of the animals, and Old Turtle tells them that God is like everything, that is like all of them, that God is like a rock, hard and firm. God is like water that moves around, that God does it does swim like a fish, and God does fly like a bird, that basically everything that is created reflects something of God. And then Old Turtle tells them about something else that's going on. Old Turtle says, there will soon be a new family of beings in the world, and they will be strange and wonderful. They will be reminders of all that God is. They will come in many colors and shapes, with different faces and different ways of speaking. Their thoughts will soar to the stars, but their feet will walk on the earth. They will possess many powers. They will be strong yet tender, a message of love from God to the earth and a prayer from the earth back to God. And then, it says, the people came. And it shows this beautiful watercolor of all the different types and colors and shapes and sizes and genders and everything you can think of people on earth. But then the story says, but the people forgot. They forgot that they were a message of love, a prayer from the earth. And they began to argue about who knew God and who did not, and where God was and was not, and whether God was and was not. And often the people misused their powers and hurt one another or killed one another. And they hurt the earth. The story goes on, and spoiler alert, there is a happy ending. The earth has to teach the people something else. But I thought of Old Turtle a lot this week because we are going to be reading in worship this week the very beginning of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, where God creates everything that is, and then God creates humans. And it says that humans are created in the image of God, which means that we who are humans look like God. I've been thinking of Old Turtle because that's kind of the point there, but I've also been thinking as I've watched the news this week, maybe you guys know or your parents have told you that there's a lot of people really upset right now because people are hurting other people and killing other people. And the thing is, the people who are hurting, they're hurting look like God. They're made in the image of God. They're people. That's sacred. And even the people doing the hurting and doing the killing and doing the things that are bad, those are people who look like God, who are made in the image of God. And so it makes me think that maybe we need a little wisdom from Old Turtle to remind us that any human, any life is the most important thing. That we do look like God and we reflect God like little mirrors all through the world. we're going to talk about that this week. But what I want you guys to know more than anything now is that you look like God. Your family looks like God. And all the people in the world, the ones you like and the ones you don't like, the ones that look like you and the ones that don't look like you, people whose skin is as white as mine and people whose skin is as black as can be, that's what God looks like. So I want to challenge you, the kids, and all of us, just older kids, to remember that the lives, black lives, brown lives, white lives, all people are sacred. So our job is to walk around in the world treating each person like the sacred little mirror of God that we each are. So it's, again, I miss you guys. I hope y'all are doing okay. And as we always say at the end, may God be with you there and may God be with you here. Bye-bye.